in the world? Now who let y'all in? Well, I guess since y'all just want to come in a people's house uninvited. Hey, my babies. Welcome to In the Kitchen with Khalilah. As y'all can see, I'm just getting up. And y'all want to be sitting here at my counter. I guess since you're here, that means you want to cook something today. And you're hungry. So, we go ahead and get started. You know, you just can't be coming in people's house all times of the day. I mean, what time is it anyway? Whatever, y'all here now, so that's all that matters. But y'all had a good week? I did. Work. And I'm hungry this morning, but you know what? First, coffee. I gotta get my coffee in, so. My mind ain't working this morning, which means that y'all gonna have to help me figure out what I'm gonna be cooking today. Cause sister girl here, y'all caught me at a bad time. So let me go ahead and get my coffee and we gonna talk and figure some things out. So y'all got any suggestions on what we should cook today? Give them to me, come on. Really? Chicken and waffles. Now, who ain't about to get up and cook no chicken and waffles is me. Who you think about to fry some chicken this time of day? Not I. Come with something else. Really? Red beans and rice? That's what y'all feel like eating when you just waking up? Red beans and rice? Nah, come with something else. Pancakes and bacon. I can go for that. Just not today. Now that's a good idea. So today, we're going to make some barbecue shrimp and savory cream and grits. How that sound? Yep, I'm for it. So we'll go ahead and get my coffee in, and since y'all caught me in my unmentionables, get myself together, and we're going to start on them barbecue shrimp and grits right after these messages with In the Kitchen with Khalilah, right here on Taste on TV. In the Kitchen with Khalilah. Come on home. In the Kitchen with Khalilah. Babies, welcome back to In the Kitchen with Khalilah on Taste on TV. I would like to thank y'all, first of all, for letting me get myself together. Your girl cleaned up good, huh? I know, close your mouth. But anyway, let's get into these shrimp and grits. Grits are like a southern staple. In the southern states, they are like a big deal for breakfast or anytime during the day. Grits is just one of those things that make you feel good. So today we're going to make shrimp and grits, the barbecue shrimp and grits, but we're going to make some creamy savory grits. What I mean by creamy savory grits is mean that we're going to have two elements that's going to make them creamy and savory. Instead of water, we're going to use chicken broth and heavy whipping cream and just a little bit of water and some little seasonings. So first what we got to do is take a cup of grits and put them in a bowl, because you always have to wash your grits, because during the process of making grits are pounded corn, which means that you can have sand and particles and other things, which may be why your grits seem to tend to come out a little bit lumpy. So we're going to take a cup of grits. One cup of grits usually feed 4 to 6 people. So that's going to be our servings today, okay? So what you want to do to wash your grits, you want to fill your grits in a bowl with water up until halfway. And what you want to do is take your hands. Let me, move it. Clean hands. And what you want to do is swirl these grits around in this water. And as you can see, see how cloudy that water is, and the germination and the sand and stuff that's floating to the top. You want to do this about 4 to 5 times after you let your grits settle, because after you stir them up, you want to let them settle before you pour the water off, so that you won't lose, much of your grits. So you're going to let it settle for a few seconds. And what you're going to do, you're just going to go ahead and pour that off. Wash. See how much clearer that water is? And there you go. That's how you wash your grits. Okay, my baby. So now that you got your grits nice, washed, and clean, what you want to do is put your liquids in the pot and get those to boiling before you put in your grits. So what we're going to have here is 1 2/3 cups of chicken broth. We'll put that in the pot. This is the creaminess of it. This is 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. Put that in the pot. And also what we're going to add is 1 cup of water. And I like to use the same cup that I had the heavy whipping cream in. That way the water helps dilute it, and you make sure you get all your heavy whipping cream in. So we're going to go ahead and put this on the stove and let that come to a boil before we insert our grits, our salt, our pepper, and our butter, okay? Now that your chicken broth and your heavy whipping cream is boiling, you want to add in your butter, some coarse ground salt, and pepper. And you want to add in your grits. These are your washed grits, okay, remember? So what you would like to do is whisk them, because whisking them separates the grains and keep you from having lumps. So whisking, you can like swirl it around in the pot to make sure that you don't have any lumps in it. And then you want to cover. And as you can see here on my pot, I leave it where it's vented a little bit. If you don't have a pot, these are Magnolite pots, which are very, popular in New Orleans area. But in this pot itself has been actually passed down to me from my grandmother. But what I like about it is that to close it tight, you put it that way. But if you need it vented, you can turn it sideways. Or if you have a traditional pot, just leave it cocked so that, it won't have all the steam that's in there. So we're going to reduce this to low and cook this for about 15 to 20 minutes, stirring occasionally, okay, just to make sure that it's still creamy and not lumpy. So your ingredients for your barbecue shrimp include 3 tablespoons of chopped garlic, a tablespoon of rosemary. What am I talking about? Crushed rosemary. 3 tablespoons of Creole seasoning, 2 tablespoons of onion powder, 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, a cup of Worcestershire sauce. However you want to say, I think it's Worcestershire. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Worcestershire sauce. That's what it is. A stick of butter, a stick of margarine, okay? And what we're going to do, we're going to chop a half of onion to put up in our barbecue shrimp. And next we're going to cut up a half of red bell pepper. This is for flavor and for color on your plate. Also, as you can see here, we have green onion or shallots, whatever you want to call them. And when you're using it for garnishment, the green onions, you don't want to use the bulb of it. The bulb gives a very strong flavor unless you want that oniony, green onion flavor. But for garnishment, we want to use the actual stalk of it and not the bulb. And we're going to cut this up at the end when we go to plate our food. So there you have it. Your onions and your bell pepper, your butter, all your ingredients, and your peeled and deveined shrimp. Now we're going to go to the stove and I'm going to show you how to make your barbecue shrimp. So one of the perks of growing up in, Louisiana, New Orleans, is that fresh seafood is in abundance. You can go to any corner store or any type of grocery store and get fresh seafood. Unfortunately, when you move away from there, even though fresh is best, it's not always readily available. So I wanted to tell you guys, just because you live away from the coast does not mean that you cannot have good seafood dishes. I personally, being that I now reside in Tennessee, I buy the fresh raw shrimp out of my local grocery store. Just make sure you don't buy those pink shrimp, the salad shrimp, or the pre-cooked shrimp, because then your dish won't come out as flavorful. But I feel like even with the frozen shrimp, you can still get the same flavor that you want with the right seasonings. Prep and technique is always key if you can't always have fresh. So what we're going to do, what I buy is the headless, easy peel, and deveined shrimp. Peel and devein is key if you don't want to do a lot of the prep work. So we're going to continue peeling these shrimp. And then I'm going to show y'all how to get it nice and seasoned for the barbecue shrimp recipe. We got our shrimp peeled and deveined. We're going to rinse them off in the sink. So in a cast iron skillet, what you want to do is melt your stick of butter, stick of margarine, saute your onions and your red bell peppers, and your garlic together. I have this on a medium to high heat. Now that your onions, your garlic, and your bell pepper has been simmered, you want to season, which is what is going to be your barbecue shrimp base. So you're going to put in your Creole seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, crushed rosemary, some ground black pepper, and next you want to pour in your cup of Worcestershire sauce. So now that you have that some nice burr, you want to go ahead and introduce your shrimp in there. Now the key to good shrimp is not letting them overcook, because then they get a little bit too chewy and too tough. So once we get all the shrimp into this good barbecue shrimp mixture, we're going to cover it, let it simmer for about 5 to 7 minutes until they're nice and pink. Our barbecue shrimp has been cooking for about 5 minutes, and I took it off the heat. I actually turned the heat off and recovered it and allowed it to cook in its own juices. So I'm gonna cover that back up and let that sit, and let's check on our grits over here. See how that's going. Perfection. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get this plated up. You know where to go. Yeah, yeah. Don't think twice. Come on, in the kitchen with Khalilah. Don't think twice. Come on, in the kitchen with Khalilah. Come on home, in the kitchen with Khalilah. Welcome back to In the Kitchen with Khalilah, right here on Taste on TV. Everything is done and it's time to eat. First, we're going to start off with our creamy, savory grits. Look how nice and creamy that looks, guys. Oh, my babies, y'all, if y'all can just smell how delicious it smells. That chicken broth really, really gives it an amazing smell and aroma. We're going to top it with our shrimp. Get into that. Doesn't that look delicious? Yes, amazing. We're gonna garnish with the stalks of some green onions there. A little parsley, dried parsley. Sprig of fresh parsley. And a couple of our garlic, actually our buttered crostinis. And there you have it, babies. Barbecue shrimp and creamy savory grits. All right, my babies, I hope y'all enjoyed my video today of barbecue shrimp and creamy savory grits. There's only one thing left to do. Let's taste it and see how we did, my babies. Okay. We did that. Good job, babies. It's time for me to tell you I'll see y'all next week. I'm going to go ahead and go finish this. But you know there's one more thing that I need y'all to do for me. Grab your napkin, your dish towel, whatever you have, you may have close. And let's make it ride this thing on time.
Body, work the 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 body, work. This what y'all been waiting for. Work the body, 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 work the body. I said, rock with me, rock with me, rock with me. Come on, say, roll with me, roll with me, roll with me. Come on, I said, rock with me, knock with me, knock with me.